Hey, how's it going, everybody? In today's video, we're going to look at CSS. What is CSS? We're going to discuss CSS. So CSS is kind of language. Okay, it's a new language I'm going to teach you in this lesson, in this video. And this is basically a language. Okay, it's a language built on the web, and you could easily use it by linking that to HTML. So we talked about HTML already before, and you know that HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and is the main language to build the website structure. Okay, the main structure of the website, any kind of text that you see on the web page, any image, any video, all those are represented by HTML, and HTML is shouldering the responsibility of handling, all those elements, all the things visible and apparent on the web page. And besides, we have another new language we're going to look at in today's video, which is CSS. So CSS basically stands for cascading style sheets. So cascading style sheets is a new language. The new language we're going to look at in today's video. And so what we mean by cascading, we mean the C at the beginning of the CSS acronym. CSS, so C basically means so cascade. Okay, we have the concept cascade. It's a new concept in the language. Okay, so cascade, you know what cascade means already. Okay, because in HTML we had that. Okay, so we have the chronological order. Okay, so we have the order of the codes being implemented, being run. So we have cascade. Okay, cascade means that codes are going to be run immediately, straight away after each other. So if you have code on line 2, that would be prioritized to code line number 1. So this is basically what it does. So we have cascade. Okay, so cascade means that codes are going to be run immediately after each other, and they would follow a chronological way. Okay, structure. So that is cascade. And we have style sheets. So style means just to give us some kind of styles. So you're gonna give some styles, some sort of styles to HTML elements, and they're all done with CSS. So you're gonna give it a styles, and then we have style sheet. Okay, style sheets. So sheet means just a kind of file. Like you're gonna build a file. So we learned that CSS is a language to kind of give styles to HTML elements, and CSS is responsible for beautification. Okay, so for beautifying HTML web page. So you have already built an HTML. So let's assume that you have already built an HTML web page, and then you want to beautify it with CSS. So this is done by CSS. So when you want to, let's assume that you have done an H1, you have created an H1, and then you want to make it bigger. Okay, you want to bump up the font size and then make it bigger to be more apparent to the visitors and your users, and user could easily engage with your website. Okay, so you can easily see what is happening in your website. So you just give it some kind of styles, some kind of font sizes with CSS to HTML elements, just to kind of have some beautification, just to beautify HTML elements. And other functionalities of CSS we could point out just alignment of the elements. You could easily align the elements. So I could directly tell CSS, okay, I want my H1 element to be centered. So this is done by CSS. So we call alignment. So basically align the elements. Align it to be in the center, align it to be at the bottom, align it to be at the top, align it to be at the left or right. So it doesn't matter. Okay, you could easily do that by CSS walk in the park. And so these are the main functionalities and fundamental functionalities built in CSS. Okay, built to CSS we're going to look at in today's video, and we're just going to have a beginner introductory video, and we're just to familiarize you with CSS and what is actually going on in CSS. So let's delve into our concept. So what I would do is that I would first create a HTML file. Okay, a simple HTML file with a boilerplate text. We call these kind of text, the default text that are available in each and every web page that you see. Okay, this structure is called boilerplate. Okay, boilerplate. So this is available, and actually it's a ubiquitous code that is available everywhere. Okay, and this is kind of jack of all trades. Okay, you see all these kind of structure, the main structure, the doc type, and then we have HTML, head, meta, and title, all these tags that are available in each and every website. We call these kind of boilerplate text. So these are called boilerplate. So I'm going to put boilerplate first, and then what I would do is I want to create a straightforward H1 with a hello world text in it. And then I would just give it a results. I would show you the results. I have already installed a kind of extension which is named as auto close tag, auto rename tag. I have all these extensions here, and if you just are passionate about what I have already installed, just you could cast look at all these and just install it by yourself. And then okay, so I have my H1 tag here, H1 tag right here, and I have also installed a great extension which is really handy for our use cases, okay, which is kind of open in browser. Open in browser. If you just go ahead and open in browser, type in open in browser, okay, it would come across one extension which just helps you open the what you have done, what you have written here directly to your browser. Okay, it just shows you two options. Okay, open default browser. If you have already set a default browser, that would open up that kind of browser, and then we have open in other browsers. Okay, so if you have other browsers already installed on your computer, you could easily go for each one of these. For each one of these, I would have for Google Chrome, which is my favorite browser. So this is a text that I have built here. Okay, this showed up here, up here. And then I'm gonna amalgamate CSS to HTML. I wanna intermingle HTML to CSS, actually CSS to HTML. I wanna link and kind of connect my CSS to HTML. So let's just go ahead and create a new file. Named style.css. But before diving into style.css, I want to let you know that we have 3 ways of using CSS and HTML. So as we have learned before, this is a separately different language from HTML. Okay, they're totally different with each other. Okay, as you see here, we have style.css, which is extension of all CSS files, CSS.css. Okay, and then we have besides we have HTML, and the extension of all HTML files goes to the HTML, and then right next to it we have style.css. So as you see, they are completely isolated and thoroughly different with each other. So you see that these are 2 languages that are completely different with each other, but they're used jointly together. So, and then we have one H1 here. And about our H1, I want to just tell you that we have 3 ways. We have just 3 ways of using HTML. I mean CSS and HTML. So we use CSS and HTML, not HTML and CSS. Okay, so we just use CSS and HTML. And we have 3 ways of using CSS and HTML, which is one goes for inline styling. Okay, inline styling. Just pay close attention to the phrases that I'm telling you, okay? When the phrases that I say, inline style, then we have internal style, and then we have, and the third one goes to external style, okay? External styling, okay? It doesn't matter. And then, so we have 3 ways of using CSS and HTML. So we have 3 ways of using and adapting CSS and HTML, and one of which goes to inline style. So inline means in the line, okay? So we were going to just give some styles in the line. So what does line mean here? Which line? What line? Okay, we're talking about the line of HTML. So HTML, in this line of HTML, we're going to give it a style. We're going to give it a style. So just familiar. I want you to be familiar with the expressions that I say. I always accentuate, always highlight and mark the expressions to students. I always tell them that, okay, pay close attention to and be cognizant that whenever I use any kind of expression or phrase, just pay close attention, try to memorize all these concepts, because a key difference, the distinction between an expert and also a beginner is the expressions and the specialist expressions that they use. Okay, expressions. So I mean the terminology. I mean the terms that they use. I mean experts use. So the main distinction between an expert and a beginner is that experts and specialists and professionals use kind of structures and phrases and many kind of expressions that beginners don't know. So please pay close attention to things that I use. Okay, the expressions that I use for each of these concepts, for each of these use cases. So we have H1, and then we're gonna give it an attribute. We have talked about attribute in our HTML series. And if you're new here, my name is Mohammad Reza Momieri, and in this channel I teach you about HTML and CSS and all these, JavaScript and all these web related technologies, and also core technologies. And just if you just want to follow along with us, just go and check out our HTML series, okay, HTML series tutorial. That will be worth it. So we have style, And what we're going to do in style. So what we have style. So what is style? Style is an attribute that you give to your elements. So as we have learned before, attributes are given to opening tags. So I have one opening tag, and then I have a closing tag or ending tag. Starting tag, ending tag, opening tag, closing tag. So okay, we give our attributes to our opening tags, I mean starting tags. So attributes are given to starting tags. So my attribute name here is style, and then I give it a value. So equal sign, and then a double quotation or single quotation, doesn't matter, but it is recommended to use double quotation symbol. And then so you go for, so style, I want to give it a kind of property. So this is called property, CSS property. So I mean each CSS statement is called property. Each CSS statement is called property. So if I want to give it a color, so we said that CSS is used for beautification, for just give something a style, some sort of styles to your HTML web page. And this is the main use case of CSS in HTML. So we want to give some kind of styles to your HTML elements. Okay, so we want to beautify your HTML elements. So we could give it a style, and the color. So color for the beautification. Give it a color, you would make it more awesome. Okay, color, and then with a value of red. So that would be awesome. And okay, so color, and the colon, and the red, and the semicolon. So notice the difference between these two. We have colon, and then we have value, and then semicolon. So semicolon basically means that we want to end our statement. So the statement the statement is over. So we want to define and declare CSS that okay, we have our expression up to here, right to here. Okay, so we don't want to continue. We don't want to go on our properties. So this is it, and I'm going to just give you the results, and that's it, and it's done. So we have our HTML element, which is turned to red. So H1, and then turn to red by CSS. So this is a magic of CSS. You're going to give styles to your HTML elements. Okay, so you're going to beautify your HTML elements, and the most basic styling is given when colorizing your elements. Okay, you're going to color your elements, and that's it. We have about style. So style is the first way of using CSS, which is called inline CSS. So inline CSS is the way that you give CSS styles in the line of HTML. So this is a line of HTML, and then you're going to attach some kind of CSS style to that kind of line. So this is an HTML line, and then you're going to give some CSS styles to the HTML line, and this is done inline. Okay, so this is done in the line. This is a line, and this is done inline. Okay, so it's obvious. And then we have two internal styling. Yeah, the second way, the more better. Okay, so as we go on to 1, 2, 3, the better it becomes. Okay, so we have the worst way of using CSS, which is inline CSS, inline styling, inline CSS, or inline styling. And then if we move on to the second one, the second use case, the second way of using that, we reach to internal style. So internal style are better. Why better? I will show you. So we have, okay, to give kind of internal style, you need to open the head tag. In the head tag, inside the head tag, you go for style. Yeah, it's a new tag in HTML that we're going to learn right now. So style is a new tag in HTML, and that is used for kind of enclosing CSS styles in the HTML. So we have style here, and then inside that, whatever goes inside is dedicated to CSS. So assigned to CSS. You could easily put any kind of CSS style that you want. So I want to ask you a question at this level. Style. Yeah, style attribute we have here. So we have our style attribute with a specific value inside. I just want to ask you that how CSS recognizes that I'm giving this a style to whom? Okay, who is accepting this kind of style? This is a CSS style, right? So how CSS identifies that this style goes to which element? So how CSS identifies that? How CSS just spots the differences. I mean, spots that, okay, so this style, this expression goes to this element. So how can we recognize, how can we actually tell the CSS, okay, I want to have some expressions, some CSS phrases that goes to a specific element. So we want to do that, we're inclined to do that. So this is where CSS selectors come into play. So we have selectors, right? Yeah, CSS selectors. Selectors are kind of structures and formulas that select the HTML element, go and choose the HTML element, and then bring that for you, and then it is prepared for you, and you could either ready for you, and you could easily give some kind of styles to them. Okay, you give styles to them. So the process is exactly just like this. Okay, so you firstly tell the CSS, okay, master of CSS, just go and bring up some of the elements that I'm looking for, and then he would say, okay, sure, and then he would go and okay, choose some of those. CSS, okay, and it goes and chooses some of those elements available on the web page, and then brings it for you, and they're ready for you to use. So this is the main process that is going on. So we have our selectors. So when we talk about selectors, this is comments, okay? I mean, comments in HTML, we're familiar with this concept. Comments are just kind of plain text that browsers ignore, okay, neglect, and this doesn't matter for them, okay? Just whenever they confront a comment, they just neglect it and ignore it, okay? They just don't care about it. And then we have style tags. So let's go and create a new element here. We have HR, horizontal line, maybe. And then we have a p tag with a lorem text inside. So what if I want to give some special sort of styles to this paragraph? I want to give some style to this paragraph. I mean, I want to colorize it. I want to just make it red, make it blue, or whatever. Okay, so I want to do something with it. I would just give some CSS style to it. So what should I do? I don't want to use inline style because it's the worst way of using CSS and HTML. So I want to go to the next one, move to the next one, which is internal styling. Internal styling goes to given CSS styles in your head tag, in your HTML, we haven't moved to the CSS file that we have created. We can easily delete it, okay, and get rid of that for a second. So this is it, okay? So we haven't reached to the new CSS file that we have created already. So, but I deleted it. Yeah, I deleted it, and then okay. So we have style here. So the second way of using CSS is internal styling. Internal styling is the way that we define our styles, define our selectors, what are so-called selectors in the style tag. So in the style tag, I want to just give you master CSS. I want to give you a p tag, p. Just notice the structure, and notice the syntax. They call it the syntax. Notice the syntax what I'm writing, and the shift and brace. We call it curly braces. Yeah, curly braces. Yeah. So we have p. Okay, p tag and a curly brace and then whatever style we want. So whatever style we want. We could easily tell the CSS to just set it a color with a value of blue. So what it indeed does. Let's go and check out the results in the browser. So if I just do a quick reload, wow, what happens here? Whoa, incredible. So actually we've done nothing incredible, okay, but we have internal styling here. Internal styling just goes, I mean, whatever style that you write in the style tag right inside head tag in the HTML file goes to internal. So we call this kind of structure, this kind of syntax, internal styling. Yeah, this is called internal style. So this is internal style, and internal style means that you define some selectors. These are called selectors, as you know. Okay, selector. We have p selector, and then we have curly brace. You have newly come from my exam, okay, and I've taken my exam. Then I'm come back to home, and now I'm speaking to you, talking to you. I'm a bit tired of those exams, okay, and that's where my time doesn't work. So we have P here, okay, so P and a curly brace and then color. So This is a selector. This is a selector. Just I want you to know that from now. Okay, so this is since now we have a selector here, P, and P selects all the P elements. So we could just essentially telling the CSS data, I can just go and look for any P tag that is available on the web page, and then bring that for me. And this means bring that for me. Okay, for me, British accent. Okay, bring that for me, and then color of blue. Okay, so I mean just whenever you brought it for me, just give it a color of blue, and then okay, sort of in the web page. So this is it. So this is done by internal styling. So having done internal styling, we would dive into external styling. What the heck is external styling? So external styling is the way that you give styles and a separate isolated external file. So we're gonna give CSS selectors in an external file. So just would go ahead and create a new file, which is traditionally, pay attention, traditionally it is nothing to do with the rules. Okay, so we're not defining rules. I mean, no one is forced us to just give style.css name. Okay, it's a tradition between programmers. Okay, this is a contract. And okay, so this is it. I mean, kind of tradition that programmers and developers have that among each other. And then we have styles. That's CSS. So style is just style is a name that I have defined. You could either write your name or anything you want. So we have style.css created here. Style is CSS. It's a new file. It's a brand new file. And then here, I want to put my selector. And then let's just go ahead and create a new tag. Thank you, ABR. And then what I want here is, it could be, yeah. Have something to work on. Okay, so an H6 with a tiny font size, and then go on to style the CSS P. Okay, select all the P elements. So what is essentially telling CSS is that, okay, go. You're telling CSS by defining this kind of structure. You're telling CSS, you're essentially telling the CSS that, okay, go and bring every P element on the web page, value on the web page. You pay attention, every P element, okay, and the curly brace. Okay, so and your CSS master CSS goes and okay, I prepared all these for you. These are available for you. I listed all of these. So what should I do with it? I said, okay, so thank you so much. Go and give it a color of blue, and that's it. So it doesn't work. Okay. Okay, so just give it a color of blue, and it doesn't work. So that's it, and that's how CSS burns you. Okay, so let's go color of blue. So what is actually going on? What the heck is going on? I have given it a color of blue, but it doesn't work. It's not working. So what the heck should I do? I mean, what the phrase should I do? Okay, so let's go here. The thing is, we haven't attached our CSS file to our HTML file. Okay, the point is we have to attach our CSS file to our HTML file. So we have to connect these two files to work properly. So I would go for a new tag. You're gonna see it right now. There's a new for you. Just pay attention. We have link. Okay, it's a single tag. Doesn't have ending tag, and then we have rel. Okay, and then we have style sheet. Okay, style sheet, and the href. So href, we have two new attributes, rel and href, and then we have double quotations, and that double quotations, I'm gonna just give it the address. Okay, the destination file. So destination file is stylus CSS. So I'm gonna connect stylus CSS to my index HTML file to have all these running working together. And then I would go for my browser and see, okay, it again burns me out. Okay, nothing's working well. So what is happening? Wow, everything's working perfectly fine. This is my bad. Apologies, Master CSS. Yes, I have done an H6, so I should place it with an H6. And then go here, yes. And then we have H6 here with the color of blue set on it. And that's it. So we could easily change it to hexadecimal colors by putting a sharp, okay, it's sharp, and then hexadecimal code. We technically call it hexadecimal code. Hexadecimal codes are some kind of codes. I mean, each color available on the web page or anywhere has its unique hexadecimal code or hex code. Okay, hex code. I mean, the abbreviation hex code goes for hexadecimal code, and each color has its own unique hexadecimal code. So you just go, if you define a red color, you could easily change it by moving your mouse on it, and then yeah, by clicking in this, I mean, this option here, the VS Code will change it for you. I mean, the definition hexadecimal codes. Okay, so that's it. So color of red has a hexadecimal code of sharp FF0003. Okay, so I mean, color of red has a hexadecimal code of double F, and just 4 zeros here. So, and that's it. Okay, so you could easily change it and give those kind of colors that you intend to give by just setting the hexadecimal definition. Okay, so go here, and that'll be okay. That'll be set to red, and that's it. We're done. So, okay, we're done with one. So, the 3 ways of using CSS and HTML. The first one goes to just kind of wrap up what I have said, just to come up with the conclusion. Just listen to me carefully right now. Just to come up with the conclusion and to wrap up everything that I've said, we have 3 ways of using HTML and CSS. Which one? The first one goes to inline CSS, goes to giving CSS styles in this HTML line. So we have HTML line here, HTML line here, and we have given CSS styles in the line. So okay, in this line, I want to give some style of CSS, which are set by style attribute and the equal sign, the double quotation, and inside the double quotation you go for any CSS property. So we technically call this property. Okay, property is the name of thing or attribute or quality that we give to the elements, okay, for beautification purposes. And then we have colon, okay, colon, this will go colon, and then we have red, the value, and the semicolon. So notice the distinction between these two, the difference, discrepancies between these two. So colon technically is you want to, it works just as like equal sign, okay, but semicolon means that when our statement is over, everything's over and the statement is over, so we're gonna finish that, okay, and end our statement, and this just conveys that meaning and conception to the CSS. And we have internal style. So internal style means that you go, the better one, okay, but so the worst one, the worst way of using CSS and HTML is inline CSS, and the best one is external styling, because everything is separately worked. Everything is isolated. Everything is working separately without having, intervention, okay? So everything's working in its own place and nothing intervening with any of these, okay? So we have inline CSS, we have HTML, our HTML file, our HTML codes happening and existing, being in our index HTML, and we have all our CSS files, CSS styles, CSS things in the CSS file. So everything is working separately fine, perfectly fine, okay? So you notice the difference between these two ways of using CSS. We have inline CSS and we have external CSS. So inline CSS, why is inline CSS the worst way of doing that? Because you're putting everything in your HTML file, and that would be mess, okay? That would be your that'd be a genuine mess. Okay, we don't avoid an issue doing those. So we have inline style and then we have external style. So inline is the worst way of doing that. We have external style, which is the best way of doing that, as you already knew. Okay, we want to just separate everything that we have. CSS file, CSS thing goes to CSS file, and HTML thing goes to HTML file. So we want to separate all these. We want to keep all these separate and isolated, and to kind of facilitate our development process, to kind of have a development process which is everything works in its own place. So this is important. Okay, everything works in its own place. We want to do that. Okay, the ultimate purpose is that. So you spot the difference between these two, that we always use external CSS. We never use inline, and this is not recommended by Google. No one is recommended, okay, till now. We have internal style. We barely use internal style. Okay, we seldom use internal style. We have inline style in some cases, okay, in some special cases. In some exceptions, and we have external style, which we always use external style because it's the best way of doing that. We're gonna keep everything isolated. So we don't want to mess up, okay? We don't want to mess everything up. We don't want our code base to be a mess. Okay, so that's it. And that's about using CSS in HTML. Congratulations, you know how to use CSS in HTML. And then in the upcoming tutorials, I'll just go for many remaining concepts and so we dive deep into CSS and look for and scrutinize different aspects of CSS and different properties available in the CSS, and we would do that perfectly great with each other. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. Bye for now. Have a good day.